Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victor Law. This channel talks about real estate and self-development. So unfortunately the quarantine has been extended, so I guess we'll just have to develop ourselves at home. So for today I'll be sharing two things that I've learned so far during my quarantine lockdown. So the first thing that I've learned so far is to fly my drone. Well, or at least trying to fly it. So this is my drone. This is the, you can see it. This is the DJI Maverick Air. So just pull the wings out like that. Put the legs out. Slot in the battery. And then you're good to go. For this one, I just recently bought it around 2 to 3 weeks ago, and the main reason why I bought it is because I wanted to up my YouTube game. This can be used for my introductions to my video. This can be used when I'm traveling from one location to another, or it can just be used for me to film sceneries so that I can have a much more interesting video. So I have been playing around with it for the past few weeks now, and trust me guys, this thing needs a lot of practice, but I've got some skills, man. So let me just show you what I've got and what I've learned so far. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that. Not too bad for a beginner. But then, unfortunately, I crashed it. Something's wrong with the calibration. So yeah, trying new things all the time. It would have been so much nicer if I was maybe on a beach in Thailand, or maybe I was in Japan when it's snowing. It would look so much better. Now the second thing that I would like to talk about is investing in yourself. Recently, I had a conversation with my boss. We were actually talking about a person, a colleague of mine who left the company just a few months back. So I called my boss and I told my boss, hey, I think that person, okay, we'll just call him Jared for now. Hey boss, I think Jared really did invest 50,000 ringgit to buy the system that we were talking about. Oh shit, there's a motor coming. Run. Scared me there. I don't know why. That's the thing with me. Whenever I'm alone and there's a motorcycle around, I would just instantly think that shit, he's gonna rob me. So let's just continue. I called up my boss and I told my boss that, hey, I think Jared really did invest 50,000 ringgit in the system that we're talking about. And then do you know what my boss said? My boss said, no way Victor, no way. There is no way that Jared would have invested 50,000 ringgit on the system that we're talking about, because Jared is simply not that kind of person. So I was a little bit puzzled. So I asked my boss, how are you so sure? What makes you think so? That is not him. So my boss told me, Victor, I've known Jared for the past 8 years. I know his kind of person. He's the type of person who is not willing to spend any money on his future. For example, if he spends a ringgit now, he expects to make 2 ringgit back almost immediately. He's not that kind of person who would invest far into the future. He's not the kind of person who would spend 50,000 ringgit on a system to have the potential to earn back perhaps a million ringgit in the next 5 to 10 years. He wouldn't put down the money right now for his future, because of course he can't see it yet. He wants something that is instant. He's that kind of person, Victor. Why wouldn't he invest? Because it will not come back immediately. He doesn't invest that far away. He's looking for, he has the instant gratification mindset. Alright guys, just got done with my groceries. I am good for another week and I took a bath, changed my clothes. Why? Because of Corona. So after talking to my boss and just hearing him say that Jared is not a person who's willing to invest in his future, he's a very short-sighted person, and that Jared is a person who's looking for instant gratification, it just made me think to myself, am I like that as well? I mean, for anyone who knows me personally will know that I'm not the type of person who would simply spend a lot of money. I don't go for branded items such as LV shoes or Gucci belts. I don't spend too much money on expensive food. Well, sometimes I do for enjoyment. And I'm the type of person who likes good deals. If there's any company out there who's giving out an offer, definitely I will be interested. For example, last year, Brew House is a Western food restaurant here in Malaysia. They have a few branches all over. So Brew House had an offer for their chicken chops. So chicken chops were like 11.90, but then for that day only, they were only selling it for 5 ringgit per plate. And guess what? I had 4 of them bitches. Yep, that's right, 4 plates. 2 for lunch, 2 for dinner. Why? Just because they had an offer. So overall, yes, I am a very prudent guy. So I was thinking to myself, will I be willing to invest in something that contributes a lot to my future and can potentially make me money in the future? Am I that kind of person who's willing to invest? And to be honest with myself, the final answer was no. Nope, I don't know how to play the drums as well. Yep, the answer was no. And to be honest, I was actually a little bit ashamed of myself when I first realized it. Because why wouldn't I spend money on something that will bring me more opportunities in the future? Well, it's because I might just have the same mindset as Jared, the person that me and my boss was talking about. I'm the type of person, or should I say I was the type of person who would only want to spend my time on something that made me immediate money. For example, spending time dealing with owners and buyers for the entire day, or spending money on owners and buyers for entertainment purposes. And any other time spent and any other money spent not on buyers or owners nor my clients, to me was a big waste of time and a big waste of money. And then after hearing what my boss had to say about Jared, then it made me realize to myself, if I continue to go down this road of not investing in myself, or specifically not investing in my future, then if I continue to go down this road, I know that eventually I will fall, I'll slow down, I'll stop improving, and eventually I'll get left behind in this real estate game. So what did I do after realizing that I had this bad personality trait? Simple. I decided to change. I didn't want to be the Victor who was not willing to invest in his future. I didn't want to be the Victor who was so prudent to the point where he was even stingy in himself. So I've decided to change, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. For example, last time when I first started this YouTube channel, I was actually filming with this smartphone. It was okay, it shoots in 4K, but then the resolution was a little bit off. Naturally, of course, if you film with the phone, on the phone everything looks great, but then when you put it on a computer, the resolution is off, there's no focus, and you don't get that nice blurry background that you see right here, which makes the subject, me, pop a little bit more. So the phone wasn't the way to go, to be honest, for YouTube. So next I transitioned to my little brother's DSLR. But then the thing about his DSLR is that there's no autofocus, which means that every time I have to go behind the camera just to readjust myself. So if I focused on me right here, right now, and then when I move forward, it would be completely blurred. But then for this one, the latest one, it just keeps me in focus. And with that, The old DSLR, it doesn't have a flip-up screen, so I cannot see, am I in frame or out of frame? So for this one, at least I can see. So that one was just frustrating. So I said to myself, enough was enough. I was tired of constantly readjusting. I was tired of constantly going behind the camera and just putting myself on focus before I can even film. I just got tired of all that shit. So I've decided to buy a new camera, which is the camera that I'm using right now. It's a very latest version by Sony. This cost me around 4,000 ringgit. I've bought a Rode mic for around 300 ringgit, so I want to improve the audio. And this stand right here is a rather expensive stand. This one cost around 600 ringgit. And on top of everything, I bought a 2005 ringgit drone so that I can get more introduction shots, more cinematic shots to make my videos a little bit more interesting. So all in, I roughly spent around 8,000 ringgit, and all this cost actually happened 2 to 3 weeks ago during quarantine. And the main reason why I wanted to buy it ASAP is because during this quarantine, I wanted to learn up on my filming ASAP. I wanted to up my YouTube game ASAP, up my YouTube quality, and of course delivering great content to all of you out there, so that I can build this channel and make it to 1 million subscribers within the next 1 to 2 years. That's the goal. I know it's a big goal for someone who only has 130 subs right now, but as long as I stay consistent, stay innovative, and constantly providing value, just like what I Heng on his Heng podcast said. What did the guy say? To constantly provide value. That's what he said. To constantly provide value to all of your audience out there. Now, why am I spending so much money? It's because I want to invest in myself, invest in my future, invest in my brand, invest in my YouTube channel. And I know that all this is not going to pay off within the next 1 or 2 months, but definitely as long as I continue to work hard, continue to provide value out there, this is going to pay off within the next 5 to 10 years in the future. So guys, if you're on the verge of doing something and you're 50-50 on it, listen to this. Take the chance. When you're young, you have nothing to lose. Don't worry about what other people are gonna think of you, what your friends are gonna think of you, what are they saying behind your back. Don't care about what your parents think or what your family thinks, because why? The most important opinion is your own opinion. Just like what Alex Becker said, sometimes you just gotta take those big swings.
Don't be afraid to take those swings if you can afford to lose the money. Don't be afraid to take those big shots that won't work in a year or 2 years, but will work over 10 years.
And just like what Sunny Koko or Sunny Kuku said, is a Malaysian superstar. So just like what Sunny Koko said, 10年前你看不起我，10年后你看你自己。
10年前你们看我不起，10年后你们看你自己。
Alright guys, if you've made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit that bell, because I drop one cool video each and every Wednesday of the week, and you wouldn't want to miss them. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Right now I'm in this studio room and my house is great. I'm sure the audio is fantastic because it's actually soundproof. There's like a small keluar sign there, which is quite funny, to be honest. There simply is no need for that, but my father placed it there because he thought that it might be a little bit amusing. And of course, so sorry about the eye. My gosh, Jesus Christ! I have no idea. It's puffing up. It has been puffed up for the past day or day and a half, so that looks a little bit off, to be honest. So I'll see you in the next one, and stay motivated.